The famous photographer chosen was Chao. He is an American photographer who was born in Kalamiao, Burma in 1966. However, he and his family left Burma for the United States in 1978. In America, Chao studied under John Gossage at the University of Maryland, who introduced him to fine art photography. After his studies, Chan tried to go back to Burma to reconnect with his culture and to discover himself and meet with family he hasn't seen in a while, but was denied a visa twice by the Burma embassy. As a result, he went to Thailand and went then to Burma illegally with the help of a friend living there. Once there, he took photographs of rebel camps, exiled people, and families. The collection he took there was one of his first photographs and became very successful. Since he began his career, he has been able to have a couple of books published. Published books include Burma, Something Went Wrong, Letters from PFL, and Echo. In Burma, Something Went Wrong, one can see the photographs he took of people in the camp. The viewer can see the struggle and effort in their eyes. In Echo, the viewer can see the photographs Chao took while beginning his career as a photographer. There are also nude pictures, a common thing to start off with when beginning the career. He, however, ended up having a specialty in portraits and studio work. In general, Chao takes portrait pictures of people, but mostly women. The background of all the images are blurry to show that the subject is that specific person. No one is smiling and no one is actually posing. They are all in front of a common background and wearing their everyday clothes, looking straight at the camera. The only pictures that don't follow this pattern are the ones from Echo and the soldiers in Burma and Cyprus. In the book Echo, they are all naked women. Most of them have their hair down, and some are actually posing for the camera. For the most part, however, it is just many young women naked. In Burma and Cyprus, he takes pictures of soldiers, something else that doesn't really follow his pattern. They are all young men in their clean uniform, looking presentable. They still don't smile, but they still do pose. Also, Chao takes pictures in color to show full and complete detail of the subject. Chao has been successful in making many collections of his photographs. From his many collections, there are 5 images that really piqued my interest. In the first image, it is of a man on 3 thin cinder blocks. Half of one foot is on top of the blocks and the other foot is at a diagonal in midair. He looks very serious and is slightly pissed at the same time. He is, however, dressed casually and there is a lot of vegetation in the background of the photograph. I find it very interesting because of the guy's facial expression and because of his pose. You can actually tell he isn't mad, but that he still feels some kind of emotion. His face doesn't actually match with the pose because his face is so serious while his pose is something slightly childish. In the second image, it is of an old woman next to her window with her hand on the window pane. Her pose and clothing and background all fits her because it just screams out, "Nice old lady." By this image alone, one can tell that she is a single, old, calm lady. Because this is so easy to tell, I like this picture. Just by looking at it, you know what she does and her personality for the most part. It even still follows his pattern of women with their hair down, making a straight face towards the camera. The third image was of a big young man with his arms crossed. Even though he is in a warm place in Asia, he is still wearing a long sleeve. Because of that one detail, I dislike this picture. It also breaks his photographic pattern of women. It also looks like the man is slightly bothered by Chao taking his picture, which I find funny. This is, however, a portrait picture, Chao's specialties. That is the reason why the picture is really good at capturing the young man's good qualities. The fourth image is of a young American. It is, in my opinion, a portrait picture. He appears to be in his late teens. The hoodie and his hair suggest that he is still going through his rebellious years, because it makes him look slightly messy. It also makes the guy look like he could be part of a teen romance movie. That's why I like the image. He is just an average guy, but the foggy background and the face makes him look like an actual actor. The fifth photo is of an elderly couple. The way they are dressed and the background, in my opinion, suggests that they have money or that they're rich. The book in the guy's hand and the way they are both dressed also makes it look like they are Christians. It is a really good picture because the viewer can get a good view of the couple and the background isn't too blurry, which also lets the viewer see it. In an attempt to recreate the first image, I had Bree stand on her side on top of the sidewalk edge. She looked straight towards the camera with a straight face with her hair down. Although she was female, not male, she was still able to recreate it because of her pose and the way she looked at the camera. In an attempt to recreate the picture with the old lady, I had Christine put her hand, her elbow, on top of a table, looking straight at the camera, slightly smiling, but at the same time not. That way, she would be imitating the old lady. Also, since she is the oldest out of me and Bree, she was the one closest to being the woman's age. In an attempt to recreate the third image of the young man with his arms crossed, Bree stood in front of the track field, looking straight towards the camera, slightly pissed, with her arms crossed. We used her because she actually didn't want it to be. She didn't want to be the subject of the photo, which made her facial expression very easy to make. To recreate the last photo of the elderly couple, I had Bree and Christine stand a bit far from me, together with Bree holding a book and Christine with her hands around her lap. That way, they would both be imitating the elderly couple, looking straight at the camera with a not so blurred up background. Made by Raquel Benavides, period 6.